Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 5, titled A Family Way, air date November 1st, 2000, and the synopsis is
Gail drops a bomb on Mitch and Dawson saying that she's pregnant, but is conflicted whether or not to keep the baby. Meanwhile, Joey seeks advice from Jen because she has a feeling she'll soon have sex with Pacey. Also, Jack and Andie are coaching a little league of soccer kids.
how did you like how it starts with Gail being apparently sick, and they're worried that she's gonna get everyone else sick?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Mitch was sick, and then Gail just never got over it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is when Mitch was like, "Oh, well, you need to go home and stuff," and Dawson kind of says the same thing, and Gail was like calling him my traitor son. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Just because he agrees that you should go home if you're sick?
Yeah.
Like I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And then since Gretchen's been working there for a little while, she's been noticing Gail.
Yeah, she notices that she gained weight.
Yeah.
That's a little rude.
Yeah.
She talks about her being like irritable and her gaining weight and like throwing up, and I'm like,
yeah,
like gaining weight? That's a little.
Yeah, well, with the rest
It's a
of the
little out
symptoms,
there.
with the rest of the symptoms, she figures, but so it wasn't rude until she mentions that she'll feel better in 9 months.
It's still a little weird.
Yeah,
I don't think Gail gained weight.
right. But I'm just surprised Mitch didn't figure things out before, since he already went through this when she's pregnant with Dawson.
Yeah, but that was 18 years ago. He probably forgot it all.
Yeah.
Especially because that was their only kid.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably was like, it just went through his head.
Yeah. So then Gail
But I thought it was funny because Mitch was like, he wanted Gail to go home, and he said, I don't want it to become the Leary's pending lawsuit. That part was funny.
Yeah.
So then we see that Gail's taken a pregnancy test. It was really hard to watch.
Why?
Dawson was there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's a teenage boy. He's their son. It's creepy to me that he is waiting by the door for his mom to pee on a stick. Like, I just feel like that is a couple thing. Like, she should have done that with Mitch, and then they could have told Dawson the results, like sit him down and tell him. Not Dawson waiting there for his mom to pee on a stick. Like, it just was too much for me. Like, he should have just, I don't know, went sat outside or something. Like, he didn't have to be right there waiting for his mom to pee. It was weird.
I don't know, maybe he just wanted to find out when they did.
He didn't need to. He could have went anywhere. It was weird. I'm like, this should have been a husband and wife thing, not a Dawson thing. Like, they should have just made Dawson go somewhere else. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't think I would do it with my, like, pee on a stick with my teenage son right there. It's just weird. I was like, no, Dawson should not have been there.
Well, I thought it was funny how, it was quiet, so Gail told him to talk, and Mitch asked
Because he shouldn't be there. It should only be Mitch waiting out there.
Yeah, but then Mitch asked Dawson about the SATs, and Dawson's like, I already took them twice.
He did?
Yeah, apparently, because Mitch was wondering if he was going to start them, but I already took him. And then, yeah, so she comes out and the test is positive.
So basically, Mitch doesn't know much about his son.
Right. Yeah, so the test was positive, and they, have their reactions, and Dawson doesn't really.
Oh, yeah, so Dawson isn't thrilled, and Gail's not thrilled.
Right.
The only one that's thrilled is Mitch. So Andie, let's talk about her. She makes Jack go and help her coach soccer. Of course, Andie's only doing this for college. Like, she just would not just go out randomly. I want to coach soccer.
Right.
And of course, she's probably making Jack do this for college too. Yeah. This is what I mean. The girl's obsessed with the future. This is her way of getting her brother to get a scholarship too, is, hey, why don't you coach? Help me coach.
Yeah, I think also too maybe it's because since he's not playing football anymore, he doesn't really have much to do, so Andie's giving him something that he can do that still is about sports to take his mind off things.
Jack doesn't care about sports.
I don't know. I think being a coach for this was good for him.
Well, but it was just kind of weird because I always wanted these brother-sister moments, and I was happy to have one. But it was just kind of random, I feel like. All of a sudden, Andie and Jack are going to coach little kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It was just out of the blue for them and for the show of Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Like other shows, 100%, but not the show.
Yeah. And then couldn't help but notice one of the girl, or really the only girl on the team.
I figured you'd point her out.
Yeah, you know who she is?
Mm-hmm. Who is she?
Well, her name is Carly Schroeder. She was on the soccer team here, but she was also in some episodes of Lizzie McGuire and the Lizzie McGuire movie, where she played Melina, who Matt, Liz's brother, had a crush on. So this was like at least a good 2-3 years before she was on there. So
What was Lizzie's brother's name?
Matt.
No.
Yeah.
Spent decades.
Yeah, Jake Thomas. Yeah.
So at the field, this first the soccer. That woman, when she goes up to Jack.
Yeah.
She was obnoxious, but she was like, I'm 28 and you are, and he says he's 18.
Yeah.
And which, first of all, shouldn't he have been 18 last year? Because wasn't it season 2 that he told his dad when they were remember when he said that he wanted to stay in Cape Side because he was 17 years old? Which would have mean season 3 he would have turned 18, and by season 4 he would have been like 19. It was just weird. But anyway, here we are with that old pairing with the younger kids.
Yeah.
And the older people.
Yeah.
Like, she's 28 and he is 18, supposedly.
Yeah.
No, here we are. Like, are they trying to make it, like, okay now that he's 18? It's still wrong. He's still in high school.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to bring up more drama, though, with him.
But, like, what 28-year-old is going after a high schooler?
Well, there are some out there.
I know, but that's definitely not a turn on. You're in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But yeah, here we are, 18 and she's 28 or whatever. Yeah, I didn't care for that one.
Me either.
I was just like, here we go with this storyline again. And here you go. Jack finally has the storyline of the older. Remember how we went through and like everybody had one? Now Jack gets one.
Yeah.
Season 4, it's now Jack's turn. What did they go through the list of each character? This one's had it. This one had it. Time for Jack.
I guess.
We got to do this before he graduates.
And then Dawson ends up painting Mr. Brooks' house to pay for messing up his boat. And then Mr. Brooks criticizes Dawson's photos. And he's like, did you take this one on purpose?
Well, first of all, he's criticizing his painting.
Yeah, that too.
He wasn't painting fast enough because he was like, I'm so glad I'm not paying you.
And
then he criticizes his photography. But I didn't know Dawson wanted to do that professionally.
Right.
Like, I thought it was just like a hobby for him. And it's a new hobby for him. So I just thought that was weird, too. It's like, Mr. Brooks, he never said that this is what he wants to do for a living. Because he was, that's the way he was acting was, I'm judging you. But for what? He was just taking photos.
Yeah.
Like, it's his hobby. Cut it out, Mr. Brooks. Do you think that guy is ever happy?
No.
Or satisfied?
Nope.
He's like a grumpy old guy.
Yep, just like Graham said.
Where is Grams?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering where she needs to watch Jen.
And then apparently he was doing that painting before school because at lunch, the next scene, Joey and Jen are talking about, Joey having sex with Pacey sometime soon. So, Jen's like,
yeah, Jen's like, why don't you go to
the free clinic?
Yeah.
To be prepared. Which was a good idea.
Sure.
Well, it is because Joey is going to need that stuff anyhow. The contraception. My goodness.
She ain't
birth
ready.
control.
She's not ready.
I know, but that, like, helped her realize, too, that she wasn't. For sure. And then Gail and Mitch are in the doctor's waiting area, I'm guessing, before her appointment to confirm the pregnancy.
Yeah, and that's when she says that they can't afford to send Dawson off to college and have a newborn.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're already in debt with, their their business.
Restaurant, yeah.
And then she's like, well, I just can't have this baby, and that's the next 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be like, well, and the thing is, like, they're finally getting rid of Dawson. It's like they can finally have like their house to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Mitch wants the baby.
Yeah.
It's just sad because Mitch wants the baby, but he just keeps his mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
But the look on his face was sad.
Yeah.
Because he wants the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And, but anyway, did you notice that when Dawson and Gretchen are talking, and was that when he was taking her photos and stuff? They ran in front of the car. They didn't even look. They didn't look both ways. They both went to the street, and there's a car there. I was like, what the heck? They almost got run over.
Right, yeah, I didn't notice that.
I was so annoyed. I'm like, look both ways. What are you teaching the kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Gretchen helps Dawson see things from Gail's side.
Well, you know what, though? Here's what I didn't like about Dawson.
What?
He told Gretchen that his parents, that in his opinion, that his parents are being irresponsible for having this baby. How would you feel if your older brother, like you were the baby that he's talking about, and your older brother said your parents were being irresponsible when they had you?
Right.
I would never talk to my brother ever again. Would you?
No.
That's so messed up.
I mean, because, like, this baby, I came a lot later. My siblings are about Dawson's age almost. My parents had me, so.
Yeah, and how would you feel if you found out, like, your siblings had that?
They're actually younger than...
Dawson.
How old are Gail and Mitch? Like in their 40s, right? Maybe early 40s?
Well, because Mitch tells Dawson that
They're
they
like
tried
20.
for 3 years before they had Dawson.
And they're like, I think 22, 23 when they got married.
And then so you add another 3 years to that. So they were, what, 25 when they had him?
Yeah, so they're about in their early 40s
and he's
now.
like 18 or something. So, yeah, they're like 43.
Yeah. Yeah, so my parents are actually younger. They always seemed so much older, but yeah, so.
Well, yeah, and then you add another 20
then they're
years.
60s, and that kid goes off to college.
Yeah.
And that's usually when people are grandparents at that point.
Exactly. Dawson's going to bring home the grandkid, and then they're going
to...
Yeah. But I was just like, Dawson, how do you say things? And again, why is it all about Dawson?
I know, he's right to have his opinion, but he's
Keep it to myself.
Yeah, he's acting like,
He's acting like it's happening to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's going to be a father.
Like he's not even going to
be around
when the baby's, because he'll be at college.
Yeah. Okay, so they've already started school, right? So the baby's going to be here,
like
within that summer, and he'll be gone. So it's not like he's even going to have to deal with the baby
crying
life. Yeah, it's not like I have to study. It's not like Joey. When she had to study and Alexander's crying. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's all about, they planned this on purpose, apparently. So that Dawson didn't have to deal with all the crying stages of the baby. But no, like, would you want that? Like what Gail's like, you're finally shipping Dawson off. And then, you got a newborn.
Yeah, I mean, age-wise, I wouldn't know.
No, starting over in your 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people do it, but I mean, I will say the best thing is that you're wiser.
Yeah.
So, like, when Gail's like, I'm worried about the past.
Yeah.
And Mitch is like, well, that's not going to happen. You've learned, at least you should have learned from your mistakes.
Yeah.
So you know what not to do. And so at least you're a little wiser than you were in your 20s. Because she was like, well, I don't, talking about like the energy-wise. About being like in your 20s versus your 40s. And yeah, you don't have the same energy. But you are wiser.
Yeah.
So you can at least you're probably a little bit more calmer when situations happen
Mm-hmm.
than when you were in your 20s.
Yeah.
Or even your 30s dealing with a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh my gosh, you might have freaked out.
Yeah.
But when you are older and you're a parent, at least, you've got the maturity down.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done this before, so, it's just with a new kid.
Yeah.
Except for what if your kid ends up like Jen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is normally kids, I feel like normally, if you have like 2 kids or 3, they're not the same.
Right.
So if you have one good one, the other one might be out of control. And think about it. They raised Dawson, and Dawson was the good one.
Mm-hmm.
Their second one is the out of control Jen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the, almost fail out of high school Pacey. I mean, what if that's your second kid?
Yeah.
You got to worry about that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're older.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put that into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, the problem is they had Dawson first. Like, at least if they would have had the calm child second,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But instead, they had the piece of cake first.
Mm-hmm. And then Joey went to the clinic and
Okay, that was an awkward scene.
Yeah. But it's real.
Yeah, but Joey was being awkward is what I mean.
Oh.
Not the lady.
Mm-hmm.
But because the lady was just asking the question she's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. When the lady brings up about Pacey.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And Joey's trying to make jokes, of course, and she was like, well, I think he's monogamous. And I'm like,
as far as I know, yeah.
Pacey is 1000% monogamous.
Yeah.
He only is ever in love with one person.
Yeah.
And also, what I questioned is Joey doesn't go to the doctor. Like,
what do you mean?
Because the lady said,
I think she was a nurse.
Okay, well, she said,
Mm-hmm.
She said, so you scheduled your pelvic exam.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they would do that at your doctor's office.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Maybe, I guess they didn't have time.
So I'm just,
yeah.
It hurt. Like, yearly doctor's appointment, you don't think that they would check her out?
But that was a free clinic. It wasn't the regular doctor.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she goes to the doctor. Yeah. Because she would have already been checked out if she went to the doctor yearly. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Cynthia, you go to the doctor, don't you?
I know, but it's not really required until later in your early 20s to have the pelvic exam.
Yeah, but maybe if you're sexually active.
And she's not. So I was actually surprised they even said they would see her.
Well, maybe she said she was going to do it. So they were like, okay, we'll put you on the list. But I was just like, do you not go to the doctor? Because they do that at your doctor's office too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I just feel like, and your doctor gets a little nosy when you're a teenager. Mm-hmm. They ask questions. Yeah. At least mine did. Did yours when you were a teenager?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just my question. Was like, does Joey go to a doctor?
I'm guessing no.
Yeah, because wouldn't Jen have just been like, go to your doctor?
Yeah, well, maybe she didn't. Joey didn't want like anything that happened to the doctors go back to Bess, since that's her guardian.
Yeah, but I feel like at a certain age, you don't need your parent in the room. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like Joey's almost 18, or she is. Yeah, she wouldn't need 17. Bess in her room, or in the room with her.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like the doctor wouldn't even say what was going on to Bess because
she's... Like, if she got like a doctor's bill or something, then she'll wonder why Joey went.
But again, that would be between Joey and her doctor.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be between Bess and
I know. I'm just saying, like, she was just trying to make sure Bess didn't know anything about it. Even though she finds out later.
In the worst possible way.
And tells her in the worst possible way.
I'd want my money back.
Yeah, and then apparently Molly's sister from the soccer team is Jack.
What is the sister's name?
She said it as
Caroline. I just said the old sister.
Yeah, I kept saying Molly's sister, but it is Caroline. She just said it once.
She's obsessed with Jack.
I know. That was creepy.
So creepy. Mm-hmm. I mean, And Jack does not want anything to do with her.
Right.
And you can tell by the way he is talking to her, the way he's not even standing close to her. He's kind of like wanting to run away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just won't let it go.
Right.
She was driving me nuts.
Me too.
And then he was like, when he was with just Andie, he was like talking about her. And Andie was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll step in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, like it should not have come down to that.
Right.
But again, here we are with that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are with the teenager
Mm-hmm.
being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But we're actually seeing him be uncomfortable. Because remember, the other ones were not really uncomfortable with the older people.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they were like, let's go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, they're actually showing he's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So then, the next day, Andie's helping Jack, saying that, she's his girlfriend, and then Jack already told
that it was his sister?
Yeah, so, and she's like, oh, well, yeah, I am. I was just covering up because his sister has a black belt or whatever, and then she's like, what's her name? And she's like, Natasha.
Natasha
Bordy.
what?
Bordy.
Yeah. And then Jack's like, Bordy, what?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. And that still wasn't working.
Andie isn't good at lying.
Yeah.
She should know that by now.
Yeah. And that wasn't working out, of course, so Jack does end up telling Molly's sister that he is gay.
Why didn't she just say Natasha's last name is whatever, I don't know. Because wait, she said Natasha was his girlfriend or his...
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Yeah, she should have came up with a better name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was weird because when she was like, oh, it's not going to work out, and they're going back and forth, and then Jack's like, because I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
I do not like that. Then she was like, oh, did
no,
you really think I was hitting on you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you've been doing this whole episode.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I knew that.
Yeah, okay. And then she walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Really, if you knew that, you'd still be talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did you think when Dawson, after talking to Gretchen the first time,
Mm-hmm.
then he goes to his parents, and then that's when they tell him that they're going to get an abortion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom says that his speech is Oscar worthy.
Oh.
I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Oscar worthy?
Mm-hmm.
His performance definitely wasn't, and I agree.
Yeah. And then that's when Mitch talks to Dawson. And
okay, well, what was weird was that Dawson was like, he didn't want the brother or sister, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then his mom says that he's not going to have the brother or sister, and then he changes his mind, and he's like, wait a minute. Then he gets mad at Gail, because he knows Mitch didn't want this. And it was funny, though, because, so again, Dawson's being moody, back and forth, but, when Mitch goes upstairs and tells Dawson that he is, it's breakfast or whatever, Dawson goes, tell my mother I'm not hungry. I was like, oh my God. Like, such a teenage thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're going to ignore your mom? Wait, is this the first time Dawson is actually being mean to his mother? Through the whole affair, he was always siding with his mom, being so nice to her, and hating on Mitch. And now we're seeing Dawson turn, where he's siding with Mitch and being mean to Gail.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember them asking about breakfast.
Well, they said something, and he said, tell my mother I'm not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wrote it down because it was funny.
Mm.
And then that's when Mitch says to Dawson that we've tried for 3 years before we had you.
And then 5 years after to have another one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they just realized it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. But I think that makes sense how Mitch wanted a big family and them having that big house like that.
The 2-bedroom house. Yeah.
Which it looks bigger at least on the inside. So that makes more sense that they would have a big house like that to have a big family. But yeah.
Well, especially because they were trying.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably had it in their head, well, someday we'll have another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can share a room with Dawson because there's not enough room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Mitch says that, it's Gail's decision and he supports her. So that was nice because someone wouldn't be like that.
So Gretchen, ends up telling Dawson. They have another talk out.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where Dawson's like, my mom's not keeping the baby and everything. And then that's when Gretchen tells Dawson that she was pregnant at 20.
Yeah.
So at least now we're seeing how old she is.
Mm-hmm.
Because now she's what?
21, I want to guess. She said last semester.
Yeah, so she probably turned 21 now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she apparently, so she's like 21 now, and which I think would make sense because she's a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And like the legal age is 21.
Right.
So that would make sense that she's 21.
Right.
Because you probably can't be a bartender if you're not 21, right?
I don't know, I'm looking up now.
Because isn't it, you can't, like if you're a waitress or something, you can't serve alcohol if you're not 21?
Maybe.
Like somebody else has to bring the alcohol?
No, actually, you only have to be 18.
Oh.
At least in our state.
At least in our state.
I guess as long as you don't drink the beer you're serving, then you should be fine.
But I thought it was nice though that Gretchen was opening up to Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't have to, and she's been keeping her life a secret. So it was nice we finally learned something about her and why she's not going back to college.
Right.
And, yeah, it was just nice to know because we don't know anything about her.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice we got this part of her.
Yeah.
Because clearly she's going to stay on for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to know our characters.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, because the last episode, Dawson's like wanting to ask her questions, and she's, nope, I'm not going to. And it's like, oh, come on now. Just tell us something about yourself. And then here we learn a big secret. And then Dawson was like, I'm not going to tell anyone. It's like, who would you tell?
Pacey.
He doesn't talk to Pacey. He hates Pacey.
I know. I'm just saying that's the only person he could really tell.
No, I think he would tell Joey, and then Joey would tell Pacey.
Maybe.
Because he hates Pacey.
Yeah, and then Bess goes into Joey's room to put laundry away, and that's when she finds the bag of birth control in Joey's drawer. And Joey walks in and sees what she saw, so that's not good.
Well, apparently Pacey leaves his clothes at their house.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. And then, so when Bess was like, oh, I gotta go, or whatever, and like leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And like all weird. And then Joey goes to see what she was looking at. And it's like, Joey, what? You're not a good hider.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you put it right there?
Yeah. She could have put it like
anywhere.
Under her bed or something.
Yeah, anywhere her sister.
Wait,
okay,
look.
If your sister does your laundry, why would you put it in your drawer where your laundry is?
Yep. I know.
Wouldn't you put it with like, I don't know, your papers or something that your sister doesn't touch?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's things in your room she doesn't touch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that you would put it right there and right on the top too. It wasn't even like she put it underneath the clothes.
Yeah.
Because think, Bess is just putting the clothes
away
on top of the other clothes.
Yep.
So if they were underneath the very bottom,
she wouldn't have saw it.
Bess would never have seen it. That's what I mean. Joey's not good at hiding.
Yeah.
Because you would never put them. You wouldn't leave them on the top unless you want her to see. And also, you could put them in like your pair of jeans or something, so that even if Bess lifted them up, she wouldn't see them because they'd be stuck in the jeans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just not good at that.
Right, unless she could have heard like the bag sound if she moved it, but yeah, still would have been better.
Oh yeah, anything would have been better besides putting it on top.
Mm-hmm. And then of course Bess has to use the worst possible moment to mention it at breakfast.
Yes,
the next day in front of everybody. That's at the B&B.
Well, yeah, because she was like, Joey was talking about when I'm studying at Pacey's, and Bess like, you don't study at Pacey's. Oh, Bess.
Yeah, Joey kept a plate of potatoes hostage until she heard what Bess was talking about.
Well, it was just really bad, and I felt so bad for the guests.
Yeah.
And even Bodie was like...
And they all started, like, slowly backing away and leaving the table, too.
I was like... But that's when I was like, they deserve a refund.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to sit there and hear... Like, I'm supposed to... Yeah. Like, you're supposed to be in this little small town, like, all cozy at this bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Who wants to waste their vacation time listening to the bicker going on? Like, you could be home listening to that.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably what they're thinking. Is if I wanted this, I could have just stayed home.
Yeah, and that could give them bad reviews too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just think of all the people that could have wrote the bad reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Bodhi didn't say anything like, hello, look around.
Yeah.
You
know, or like tell them sorry or something.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. He just kind of like, just looked.
Just like watching like they were.
Yeah. What did you think of on the field when, what'd you say the little girl's name is? Molly?
Mm-hmm.
When Molly is talking to Jack,
Yeah.
and she was saying that the boys aren't there because their parents said that Jack is dangerous.
Right.
What was your opinion?
Well, a lot of parents still think that way, very ignorant, being very ignorant because they assume things. Assuming things is the worst possible thing you can do without actually knowing and educating yourself about things. But yeah, he is 18, but like parents who are close-minded and homophobic will just assume that just because you're gay, you like that person can like turn their kids gay, even though that's not anything, that's not possible. And and then they kind of, I don't even know where to start exactly, but some people associate being a pedophile with gay people. So that's
that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking if Jack was straight, Molly's on the team.
Right.
Like, you could think Jack being straight likes Molly.
Yeah.
Like, it would still be bad if, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But he's not. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, I don't really get it because I'm like, I don't know why people assume that.
Right.
Because, again, you could put it as a straight person coaching the opposite sex. It wouldn't be good for that either, would it?
No.
But no, they allow it. And that's why I disagree with this because, he's coaching boys. And again, he doesn't like he likes people his own age. It's just so creepy. Yeah. I don't like it.
Neither do I.
Like, it's so disgusting when you hear it. Like, when they portray it on like TV and stuff, because it's like, ugh. Because, again, they're not pedophiles. Right. I don't like when people assume that because, you can twist it around and say someone about being straight. It's like, okay, guys coaching volleyball, them in their short shorts. Right. That's bad, in my opinion. But people allow it. Yeah. And it's gross. We had a disturbing person at our school. And he creeped me out on 100 different levels. They let him around. So it's like, and he was at volleyball games, and it was creepy because he's seeing these girls in not a good way. Yeah. And that's what I mean is that's the pedophile, not Jack. Right. Just because he's gay. Yeah. So, no. Definitely don't agree.
Yeah, because didn't that happen too with on Melrose? Similar plotline? Yep. But that was like a decade before this. About at least like 7, 8 years maybe.
I mean, did Matt coach anything?
No, he was like a counselor for that youth group. Yeah. In a church, which is even worse.
Yeah, once they found out, yeah.
Yeah. And he was fired.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. You could say that as for a straight person, like.
Exactly, yeah.
You can say it about doctors. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's messed up.
The people in churches, there's a lot of cases of those, so.
That's what I mean is you allow your child to go with straight people, right? So what's the difference between them going with a straight person as the opposite sex? Yeah. And them going with them with the same sex? That's what I don't get is if you allow your daughter to go with a man. Yeah. What's the difference? Yeah. There is no difference to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to claim one, you might as well claim the other. Right. Because there's nothing wrong with Jack coaching little kids.
And Andie's there too.
Right. So. Like anything's going to happen with Andie there. And all the parents are there. They're all on the sidelines watching anyway. Remember, the sister Molly was there the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's not like anything's going to happen when everyone is there anyway.
Yeah. So that was even more stupid. Yeah.
It's not like, again, it's not like they're in a locker room. Just the players and the coach.
Yeah.
It's literally
on the field.
On the field, out in the open. Anybody can drive by and see. Parents are there, and siblings are there.
Should be by the school, right? This is still Capeside, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's probably like the elementary or something.
Yeah.
Or some youth program or something. But it didn't make any sense. I'm like, I don't like this theory.
Yeah.
Because it's wrong. Because again, just turn it the other way. It's bad that way. But we're not talking about that, are we? No. How come they don't ever bring that up?
I don't know, just very ignorant.
Shouldn't they bring that up?
Yeah.
Just twist it the other way. They should do an episode on that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, honestly, I've heard more stories that way than I have of a gay person.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I have.
Yeah, me too.
You hear teachers go on and date their students. And like, ugh.
Yeah.
What? And they're not the same sex.
Yeah, there was a Hulu show about a case like that not so long ago. I forgot what it was called, but...
And that's what I mean is I feel like you hear it more with the opposite sex. That's why I don't know why we don't talk about that more.
Right.
You know, and like Jack is just trying to live his life. You looking up the show?
Yeah, I just can't remember the one actor that I know. Because his name is Nick Robinson. And the show, because he played a student, the show was called...
Wasn't it a teacher or something?
Yeah, something like that. I can't recall. Oh, there, yeah, a teacher. Yeah, that's what it's called. So yeah, he was like a high school student and same thing, you know, teacher. So basically like Pacey and
Miss Jacobs, but they fantasized it.
Yeah.
That's what makes me mad is when TV
it, yeah.
Yes. When they do that because you make it realistic, make it gross.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like as an adult, that is disgusting.
Yeah.
And as a parent, that should be one of your worst nightmares. So, you know, that a teacher would put themselves on a student.
Yeah.
So make that realistic. But again, remember, even this one, they made Pacey like kind of fall in love with her, and it was gross. But again, that was okay.
Yeah.
But hear him just coaching the kids is not okay. Yeah, I could not stand Molly's sister. And you know what I think is weird too? Why would Molly's sister let Molly still go to the practice or the game?
I don't know.
Think about it. It came out because of her sister. So her sister ran her mouth to the other parents.
Yeah.
Which made the other parents keep their kids at home. Why wouldn't Molly's sister keep her at home?
Right.
She started it. She clearly doesn't like it either because she started it.
Yeah.
So why is Molly still there?
I don't know.
That was my big thing too was if all the other kids aren't there because of this, why is Molly there?
Yeah.
Her sister started it.
Yeah, it would have made sense if she was a sister of one of the boys, so.
Right. And then it was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with my, brother being here. Yeah. But no, it's Molly's sister and she started it by opening her mouth.
Yep.
And that's what I don't understand is why is Molly still at practice? Because then Molly even tells Jack, I don't think you're dangerous.
Right.
But the word dangerous.
I know that too.
It is so strong. And to use it on Jack makes me so mad.
I know, me too.
Because he, again, pedophile. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
This is not dangerous. And being gay.
Right.
I don't use that word with the gay people because they're not.
Right.
Pedophiles are. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But it was just when Molly walked away and said, I don't think you're dangerous. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Like she sees Jack for being Jack. She doesn't see him any other way.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with kids. They don't see you any other way. They just see you as a person.
Yeah.
And But it's when they get older, they get the brainwash.
Yeah.
And then they're supposed to believe this. You know, it's that narrative. And that's wrong.
Right.
But Molly's at the young age where, you know, they think of people as just people. And they judge them on who they are as, you know, as like their actions and not who they are.
Yeah. And then Bodhi, surprisingly still in the episode, talks to Joey.
This is weird. I don't know, because it doesn't really seem like Bodhi... He's never around, so it doesn't really seem like he's that close to Joey.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice, but yeah,
it was nice, but it was weird.
I mean, like, I guess since her dad isn't around, he's like the closest father figure she has right now, but, you know, again, he's not really around, so can't really count him as that, but...
Right.
Yeah.
They just make us always believe, like, Joey just loves Bodhi, even though we just don't see it.
Yeah, but he did make a point and said that if she wasn't ready to be ready for sex, then maybe she's just not ready, period.
You know, it was actually cute because baby Alexander was putting, as in the little actor, was putting his head on the actor who played Bodhi. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. Well, because sometimes, you know, they're still strangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just so cute that he was so comfortable. He was putting his head on him.
Yeah.
I was watching that. I honestly could have cut that whole scene out, but it was just so cute with baby Alexander.
Yeah, I think it was just an excuse to show that Alexander still lives at the B&B with everybody else. Because he's always missing too with like Bodhi.
With Bodhi, yeah.
And then Dawson goes back and tells his parents about the one fact that his mom forgot.
Well, did you notice? You know what I noticed in that scene?
What?
Dawson walks downstairs and shuts the TV off.
Oh yeah, I was like, what?
Why? He could have muted it. Why is he shutting?
Or like, he could have been like, can I talk to you guys for a minute? Can you like turn the TV down? Or
and his parents would have said, at least my parents would have said, wait for the commercial. Because remember, this was commercial days. It's not like you can pause it. It's commercial days. My parents would have yelled at me if I would have shut the TV off.
Yeah, me too.
Are you kidding me? Like, no. They would have told me, wait for a commercial.
Yeah.
There'll be a commercial in a couple minutes. And then they would have muted it, not turned it off.
Yeah.
And then I would have only had that couple minutes to say what I had to say before the TV came back on. Because remember, shows were only on that one day at that time. And that was it. You didn't get to see it again.
Yeah.
So, unless it came out on DVD.
Or a rerun like a week later or something.
Or maybe during the summer. And then but if you missed that episode, you were screwed the next week.
Yeah.
So the fact that Dawson was able to just turn off the TV.
Yeah.
I was like, that just would not happen. Would it happen in your family?
No.
Especially then. Because at least now you can just pause it. But back then, there was no such thing as pausing.
Right. Yeah, so Dawson tells her that she forgot the one fact that she's a great mother.
Oh, what is she?
I know.
When? Cynthia, when has she been a great mother?
I think she's been a better example at the last season, but before that, it was really rocky.
It's been rocky. She has not been a good mother.
Yeah, but either way, she actually needed to hear that to make her decision.
Yeah, because he wants to keep the brother or sister.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, Dawson, now is your Oscar-worthy moment because you were lying right through your teeth. You know darn well your mother is not a good mother.
Yeah.
Think about it. When she lost her job in Philly, she didn't want to come home.
Right.
And the reason why she should have come home is her son. But she didn't put him first.
I know.
When has she ever put Dawson first? Never. So the fact that he's going to say, Mom, you're a good mom. And again, okay, to compare her to Pacey's mom, okay. Because Pacey's mom hates him. Because we've never seen her. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not living at home. It's not like I'm going to stay at home because I love my mom. You know. So clearly, Pacey doesn't have a good mom. So, and we've said, you know, that Mitch is, you know, the number one dad on the show because of all the bad dads on the show.
Yeah, because, you know, Joey's mom has passed away.
But Joey's mom, if she was still alive, she would have probably been number one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, she would have. And then, you know, Andie and Jack's mom just disappeared from the show completely.
But if she if she wasn't going through what she was going through, she probably would be mother number 2.
Yeah.
Gail would really be down on the list.
And then, Jen's mother's in New York. Never talks to her.
Nope.
Yeah, so.
So this, compared to the ones on the show, which we don't see any.
Yeah.
Yes, Gail is the number 1 mom. But in reality, to like our moms, she's not number 1.
Right.
Because my mom would never leave me here.
Yeah.
With me being in high school. That just would not happen.
Right.
My mom would never pick a job over me. Would your mom?
No.
And if she did, like if she had to move, she would move all of us.
Yeah.
She would not move
just
herself.
Yeah.
And then if she lost the job,
she'd come back.
She'd come right back. But again, she'd bring us back too because we'd be with her.
Yeah.
Like there would never be anything in her mind of, of putting herself before her children. That's just not how it happened.
Yeah.
So no. So when he said that, I was like, what? Great mother. You mean a great mother from the other mothers on the show? Because that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then Pacey and Joey are making out again. Pacey stops him again, and that's when Joey talks about how she went to the clinic and got the goodies. But apparently he was just doing that to start the conversation. Of course, Joey overthought it and went overboard. And
well, that's because she talked to Jen.
Yeah, but she said she's glad that she went to, be more prepared and everything. And, then, good thing that he told her that he doesn't want to pressure her to do anything she doesn't want to do. So I was happy to hear about that. I mean, I know he wasn't going to be any different, but, yeah, so at least she herself knows that she's not ready yet. So at least it was good for something to go to the clinic.
Well, you know what I thought was funny? It was Dawson and Mr. Brooks. Isn't that his name? He's still complaining about Dawson's painting.
Oh, yeah.
When he said, I can still hire a professional to cover up your work.
Yeah, your mess, yeah.
What the heck? Like, you wanted him to paint, right?
Yeah.
So shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, when Dawson said, I think I'm doing a good job. And he said, we all have our illusions. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then he goes on again.
About the photos.
The guy's obsessed with the photos. And once again, he's looking at Dawson's work, and Dawson didn't say, hey, can you look at this? He's still taking Dawson's property.
Yeah.
Which is what Dawson had an issue with earlier, which was, don't touch my stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah. He sees the last
then
one.
He said that, this one has potential.
Yeah.
And of course, the last one is Gretchen. So what does that tell you, Cynthia?
Like I said, it was telling me that maybe it was hinting that Dawson's crush on her was coming back, maybe. I don't know.
Because it's always been, it would have been Joey. Like the last 3 seasons would have been Joey.
Yeah.
But now, the last photo, the one that has potential.
Yeah.
Happens to be Gretchen.
Yeah.
So I thought that was nice. It was nice to see that Dawson is not all about Joey. Like he can actually think of somebody else.
Yeah, like even at the end, he's in the dark room and he's
all the pictures of Gretchen.
Yep, working on all the pictures of her. Nothing else.
And that's what it's so nice to see Joey and Pacey, and then Dawson thinking of somebody else. That's nice to see.
Yeah, and in the last scene too, we see Gail going through those family photos with Mitch.
Also we see Bess finally.
Oh yeah.
Going to Joey and helping her with the dishes.
Yeah.
The dishes that nobody ate on because nobody ate. Well, because it was nice too that Joey was like, I'm not having sex.
Right.
Like she finally told her sister. I know, and I did think it was nice when. Well, I agreed with Joey when she was telling Bodhi, I thought Bess lucked out with me because she's a good kid. And I'm like, she did. Because what if Bess had to deal with Jen?
Right.
Like, New York Jen.
She wouldn't have been able to do it.
Oh, heck no. She probably would have strangled her.
Yeah, or put her up for adoption.
Put her up for adoption.
Yeah, some.
You think she would put her for adoption?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god. Here you go. My 10-year-old sister. I'm going to put her up for adoption. Or no, my 13-year-old sister.
There was a family who I think did the same thing too.
Huh?
Shoot, it was a teenage girl they put up adoption for, like at 16 or something.
Is this another story of yours?
Well, yeah, it's real, but let me see if I can find it.
I need to know more about this story.
Because she came out as gay, and that's why they put out her for adoption.
I thought it was because she was partying.
No.
Well, we were just talking about Jen, that's why.
That just reminded me of that. Hold on.
What? This is this is real?
Yeah.
What? Okay. Was it like the parents or the sister that put her up?
The parents.
Oh.
Maybe I can't find it. Oh, here you go. Yep. 10 years ago, parents put 6-year-old daughter up for adoption after learning she is gay. Yep. Trying to see where this was. South Carolina. Yeah, so that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yep. And just the whole article. But yeah, so it has happened. Teenagers do be put up for adoption for the worst reasons, but yeah, it just reminded me of that.
But Bess putting Joey up for adoption.
Because it would still be legal, because she's still under 18.
Yeah.
So she could have done that, but
yeah, I think she lucked out because Joey she doesn't hang around the popular kids. She doesn't.
Or even Dan.
She doesn't like people.
Yeah. It was just always just her and Dawson before. So.
Right, which is what you'd want to raise, like you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
And it's not like the two of them are going to get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, she never had to worry.
Yeah.
So I think Bess was probably more of a troublemaker than Joey was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is what she was worried about. But again.
Right.
Oh, and also, you know how Joey's thinking about having sex with Pacey?
Yeah.
Do you notice she never thought about having sex when she was with Dawson?
Yep, I did.
Because remember when Dawson brought it up?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, remember? He was trying to do it on the
boat.
On the boat. And I was like, ew.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, and remember she was turning him down then? But I was like, what's I just smile ear to ear with is that she didn't think about it with Dawson.
Yeah.
It really never came up again, did it? I mean, maybe it did, but she still turned it down. Right. But because it was like 2 episodes later and they broke up, so it's not like it was long lasting.
Yeah, it was just that one time when Eve was in town and they were having that party.
Mm-hmm. But they weren't together. But she was only going to do it because she wanted to be like Eve.
Yeah.
Because she thought that's what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he did with Eve.
Yeah.
Not with you, Joey. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. I'm like, she never went there with Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
But she was going to with Pacey.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That means she likes him more, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you think she's in love with him?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she said that.
In the season 3 finale.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and she didn't really say that about Dawson, did she?
Mm-mm.
See, they're more solid.
Mm-hmm.
See, they can actually talk about stuff.
Yeah. So what's your high and low?
My low was definitely Molly's sister.
Me too.
She was on my last nerve.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like her all over Jack, and because Jack was uncomfortable. And then when she told the parents, I mean, it was obviously off camera, but I didn't like it. And then, I didn't like how it made her sister feel that her little sister, because, she had to think that her coach is dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just, and so I didn't like that whole thing. And so that was my low. Mm-hmm. My high, I guess my high would be Gretchen finally telling Dawson about her
past.
Yep. Because we're at least learning some things about her.
Yeah.
Because it's now, episode 5? Mm-hmm. And we're finally learning some things about her.
Yeah, because before she was only Doug and Pacey's sister.
Yeah, and she was only kind of Dawson's therapist. Yeah. Like the last episode where he was venting to her. Mm-hmm. But now we're actually learning things. Like she's an actual character on the show. Yeah. Because again, we don't know anything about Doug. Mm-hmm. He just comes in and out as the police officer and Pacey's brother. We don't know anything about him.
Yeah. And since Gretchen came into the picture, he disappeared, so.
Well, I'd rather see Gretchen. She's fun.
Yeah.
Well, and again, think about if she wasn't there, Dawson would probably be all about Joey. Yeah. And probably interfere with that couple. With Gretchen here, it makes it better. I feel like it evens it out.
Yeah.
And she can, right now, she can just kind of be an older sister to Dawson. So that's nice to see. So yeah, that would probably be my high. What's yours?
My high was just Pacey and Joey having to talk about sex, and making sure they're on the same page, because before they were on different pages, very different pages. And then my low is just everything with Jack too. So.
And then I would rate this a 7. Nothing really like stood out that was like, yay, I enjoyed this so much, because a lot of things just sort of were kind of to me.
Yeah, I gave it a 7 too.
Ooh, we're on the same page about something. And then who was your best and worst? Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So my worst was that I'm not even gonna say her name. The old sister. Because that's what I wrote. I don't feel she needs a name.
Yeah.
And then I thought, for all the right reasons of why she'd be the worst. And then for me, the best is Gretchen for helping Dawson think through his feelings. Because he could have just lashed out at his mom, said horrible things to her, like he did to Mitch through the divorce.
Yeah.
He could have even though Mitch didn't cheat, which I'll always say. And instead, he would go to Gretchen and say things like, my parents are being irresponsible. And Gretchen could then talk him through it. Where then he would go back to his parents and actually say good things.
Yeah.
So yes, that was nice that she worked it out with him, his feelings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she was the best.
Yeah, I agree. She's my best too. And the sister is pretty bad, but I also thought Bess was pretty bad with Joey. And
wait, so who's your worst?
Bess.
What?
Yeah.
Over the
older sister was bad too. I'm just thinking.
She told her sister he's dangerous.
I know.
And she told the other parents, which made them not send their kids.
Really? Yeah, I just always think main character wise first. So.
You're still going Bess?
I mean, they're both pretty bad, but yeah. I'm forgetting her name too now. Caroline, the sister, is really bad too.
Okay, but who's your worst?
Bess.
Dang.
Thanks. I just think main character first.
So you know main character? Bess is not a main character.
Well, she's in more episodes, and I'm hoping to see this other girl.
She is the sister of a main character.
Yeah. I mean, she's still there more than Bodhi.
Well, yeah. Bodhi's barely in it. Bess was definitely bad. I mean, I also thought one of the best, was Mitch. Because even though he wants the baby, he's like, it's still her body and her decision. And he stands by that. Yeah. So even though he might want this baby, it's up to Gail. Right. And he's letting her. He's not like putting, the whole mail card as, this is my baby. It's like, no, it is her body. She's the one that has to carry it and have it. Yeah. So, I thought that was nice too, where he was like putting his own feelings aside. Right. Because even, Gail's like, he's covering this and Dawson knows that. So, yeah. Yeah.
And then the next episode 6, Great Expectations, but Expectations has an X.
Yeah, for ecstasy.
Yeah, capitalized.
Oh, Lord.
So.
It just keeps getting crazier and crazier. I wonder what Drew's going to do next. That's the thing.
I know.
Because we're learning so much bad things about him. Well, and 2, is see, now I can't say it.
LSD. Molly. Molly.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is ecstasy going to even come back? Because they like to keep storylines and just kill them. Right. Like Andie going to Harvard, even though she stole the test. Yeah. It just goes nowhere. All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.